I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kudash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Sacrifice and just do it, man. Sacrifice your emotions and just do it. And when I say those words, what I'm thinking about is a story of Abraham. And that story is really a big deal, you know. A lot of us know the story. If you're into the Bible, you should know that story. Even people in the world know that story. But the thing about that story is that you have to feel that story, man. You have to really feel it so you can apply it to your life. And when you do that, you become a friend of the Most High, of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And that's very, very important if you want that crown. So we're going to start at Genesis chapter 22. I'm going to start from the top. It says, and it came to pass after these things that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, behold, here I am. And he said, take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest. Key word, thy only son in whom thou lovest. Think about something that you love right now. Okay. Think about something that you just like love, man. Like you got to have it. Well, guess what? In this truth, in this walk, man, there are going to be things you're going to have to sacrifice to show your love towards Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. First, seek the kingdom first, then everything shall be added. Okay. So it says, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I tell thee of. Offer, man, a sacrifice. Just like you would sacrifice a lamb. Think about that in real time where Abraham was thinking. Okay, you want me to sacrifice my only son? Imagine you got a son right now. Okay, it might be your only son. All right. And an angel through Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai tells you to do that. Think about that. It gets real. It gets real, man. It's a real sacrifice that the scriptures is talking about. That real sacrifice, man. Okay. Giving up everything. Okay. Verse 3. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him and Isaac his son and clave the wood for the burnt offering and rose up and went unto the place of which Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai had told him. Then on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said to his young man, abide here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am, my son. And he said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? Now imagine this in real time. Think about this. Your son don't even know what's going on. So think about in real time what that's weighing on your heart and your mind, what you thinking about. But the whole time you're like, look, I got to please Yahweh. Okay, I got to please Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You can't even worry about your son's feelings at that moment. And it reminds me of that scripture, he that loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Okay, and this is a good example, man. So think about that in real time. It says, and he said, behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb of the burnt offering? So Isaac knew that the sacrifice of the lamb, he like, wait a minute, why we ain't got it? What's going on here, basically? Verse 8. And Abraham said, my son, Yahweh will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering, so that they went both of them together. And they came to the place which Yahweh had told of him. And Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. Now imagine what Isaac is doing, man. Isaac's confused. But guess what? Abraham still had that faith to do what? Just focus on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and what he asked you to do. Not the emotions around you, man. You have to sacrifice your emotions. If you don't, you're going to lose. You're going to lose, man. Okay, even when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, when Peter at that moment, when he said Yahweh Shai wasn't going to die, Yahweh Shai knew the will. So Yahweh Shai like, wait a minute, get behind me, Satan. Why? Because Peter was stuck in his emotions. It's not about your emotions and what you feel all the time like that. But it is about your focus and your eye being single and knowing the will to please only them. And that's it. And that's a battle, but that's the reality. Okay, Abraham got the promise because of this, man. You know, it was written, but it was written to go this way. All right. Verse 10. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of Yahweh called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. Right, man. Okay. He got mad respect for that. That was integrity, man. That was that focus that you need in your life. Okay, that we all have to grow. We got to work on this, man. Daily. Daily, daily, daily. A lot of things can happen in one day. Verse 13. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Yahweh Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord Yahweh it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called upon Abraham out of heaven the second time, and said, By myself have I sworn, said Yahweh, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed, as the stars of the heaven, and as the sands which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gates of his enemies. So he's getting blessed for having that mentality. Think about that, man. What you fighting for right now, man, look what got it, according to this story, man. Okay, this deep, heavy story, man. Okay? And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Right. It's about that faith plus works. Okay, the obedience on what? Doing the will. Okay, not worrying about things that's going on, man, and not letting it sway you, man. You sacrifice those emotions for salvation, all right? Now, when you go to James chapter 2, verse 20, it says, But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Right, man, okay. His faith was what? That this is worth it, okay? Because no matter what, I know Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is for me, and this is for the better good, because they say so. That's that faith and that trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which is everything, man. Okay, that's all we got. All right. Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? And the scriptures was fulfilled, which saith, Abraham believed Yahweh, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of Yahweh. You see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith alone. Verse 25. Likewise also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works, when she had received the messengers and had sent them out another way? For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. Right, man. So think back to that story, man, because it brought up Abraham for a reason in this chapter, for you to reflect back and really think about it and get into that story and really understand, man. We have to sacrifice our emotions to get the job done, to do the will. You have to. Otherwise, those different storms are going to take you out, because you're going to get carried away by what? By your emotions. So sacrifice them. Matter of fact, the last scripture I want to go to, wasn't going to go to it, but hey, the Spirit just brought it to my mind. Let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 2, starting at verse 3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua. Endure hardness, man. In other words, when things happen, man, you got to be cold, man. You got to learn how to be cold, so your emotions won't take you away, all right, from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man, and you faint. Verse 4. No man that warreth entangled himself with the affairs of this life, right, with your mind, okay, because your mind is going to dictate your actions. Okay, when you fall for those different thoughts with no fruit, all because of emotion. It says that he may please him. That's the whole point. Glorifying Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. So you've been chosen to be a soldier. You've been chosen to have that cold spirit to the point where it's not that you don't think about things, but you don't let it take you away. You don't let it get in between you and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay. You can't react to everything like that because it hurts, okay, or the fear of it. That's part of that trust in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Verse 5 says, and if a man also strive for the masteries, meaning perfection, yet is he not crowned except he strive lawfully. Exactly. So your mind has to sacrifice your emotions to be able to do that, man. That's your survival. So I hope you were edified. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to your Akhmat that is doing the truth in sincerity. Shalom.